Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to explore an exciting tool called GitHub Spec Kit, and I want to give a special thanks to Rachel Academy for inviting me to demonstrate this powerful toolkit. Let's dive right in. First, search for GitHub Spec Kit in your browser. This will take you to the official GitHub repository where you'll find comprehensive documentation and the complete source code. The repository contains detailed instructions for installing the Spec Kit toolkit on your terminal, which we'll be following today. Before we begin, let's talk about what you'll need installed on your machine. Number 1. A Python version? We'll verify this shortly. Number 2. Python pip package manager. Number 3. UV. This is crucial because GitHub Spec Kit uses UV for its setup process. The toolkit specifically uses the UV command to install the Spec Kit on your terminal. You'll execute a UV command to get the actual Spec Kit toolkit installed. If you don't have Python installed yet, head over to the Python downloads page. You can download the latest version from the official Python website and set it up on your system. The same process applies for installing pip. For this tutorial, I'm assuming you already have Python installed on your system, so we'll move forward with that assumption. Now, if you're facing any issues, perhaps organizational restrictions on executing Python queries or any installation problems, please drop your questions in the comments below. We'll explore possible solutions together. All right, let's get into the main tutorial. I have a folder ready here, and I'm going to open my command prompt in this location. Currently, I'm in the tutorials folder. Let me verify that Python is installed correctly. I'll check the Python version, and as you can see, I'm using Python version 3.13.7. Next, let's check the pip version. Since I'm on an older system, I'll use the command python.exe -m pip -version. Perfect. My pip version is 25.2, which is the latest version available. Now let's check if Spec Kit is already installed on my system. I'll execute the command specify --help. Notice the syntax here. That's specify followed by space -- and help. Excellent. We can see the init and check commands. These are the basic commands for working with Spec Kit. To create a new project, you'll use the init command. There are a few ways to do this. For a new project, specify -init spec-project. For an existing project, specify -init or specify -init here. Let me open Visual Studio Code and show you the project structure. I've already created a new project, so let me navigate into it. I'm going to open the spec project folder, and now I'm inside the spec-project directory. Let's explore the file structure that Spec Kit creates. You'll notice a .github folder, and inside it there's a prompts folder containing multiple prompt files: analyze, checklist, clarify, and constitution. These files are essential for working with Spec Kit. For example, if you want to analyze your project structure, you'll use the analyze command. If you want to create a constitution file for your project, you'll use the constitution command. For planning and creating tasks, there are specific commands as well. Make sure GitHub Copilot is present in your Visual Studio Code. I am showing by arrow how you can access it, but I am assuming it exists in your system. Inside the .SpecKit folder, you'll find 3 important directories: memory, which contains your constitution file, scripts, and templates. The memory folder contains your constitution.md file. This file defines the non-negotiable basic principles of your application. I've prepared a sample command to create a constitution for CRUD operations. Let me show you this prompt. The syntax is straightforward. I'll execute /constitution, followed by the basic non-negotiable principles I want to implement. For this example, I'm adding CRUD operations, where there will be different products and various tasks. I'm also adding best practices for programming, and specifying that every request and response should be logged. Let me execute this query now. This will take a few moments. Perfect. The constitution.md file has been created. We now have our basic non-negotiable principles established for the application. Let's examine what was generated. As you can see, the file specifies that all data must be exposed through well-defined API endpoints, HTTP request verbs, GET, POST, PUT, DLTE. Database interactions must use stored procedures, .NET version requirements, C# version specifications, database SQL with Entity Framework Core, authentication requirements, logging standards, testing protocols, monitoring and alerts, development workflow, and deployment procedures. This constitution file will be referenced every time you execute Spec Kit commands. You have complete flexibility here. You can remove, update, or edit anything you want. For instance, if you don't need compliance review, remove it. If you don't want an amendment review process, delete it. If you don't need certain governing tools during development, take them out. Feel free to add or modify the principles according to your project's specific needs. Now let's use the command specify space requirement. I want to create an application with the following characteristics. Backend using stored procedures for CRUD operations. Frontend with a clean and responsive layout. Dark mode toggle functionality. Fluid animations. Modern UI following what Gen Z calls aesthetic UI UX principles. An amazing layout structure for a visually appealing website. Let me execute this command. Great! The system is now processing. Based on the templates present in the .spec kit folder, it will create a spec.md file in a new directory. A new specs folder will be created in our application. In just a few seconds, I'll show you what's generated inside the specs folder. Now we want to explicitly create a plan for building this application. I've prepared a query asking the system to create a comprehensive plan for developing this application using modern UI principles, CRUD operations, and stored procedures as the backend. Let me execute this command. The system will generate a detailed plan showing the basic architecture structure according to our requirements. This is where architects can add their inputs regarding what the requirements are, how they want to achieve them, what technologies they want to use, how they want to scale the system, and any other architectural considerations. You can execute this with the plan command. If any permissions are needed to run CMD queries, I'll allow them. Now let's talk about the /tasks create tasks command. This one's a total game changer. When you execute this command, it automatically creates user stories and tasks for your project. No more manually writing everything line by line. Think of it like your personal project manager inside your terminal. You tell it what you want to build, and it breaks that down into clear, structured pieces of work. It figures out how many user stories you need for your specification, what tasks belong to each one, and how they all connect together. Instead of guessing or planning everything in your head, it gives you a roadmap, instantly. Now, once our tasks are ready, the next step is implement. And this is where the magic really happens. Technically speaking, /implement takes the tasks that were generated earlier and begins applying the actual logic, code, or updates that bring those tasks to life. It's like pressing the go button. All your planned changes start becoming real features in your environment. The command automates the heavy lifting. So instead of writing each update manually, it compiles, integrates, and executes your changes for you. It ensures consistency across the project, so you don't have to worry about missed steps or mismatched files. The best part? It saves time, reduces human error, and makes your workflow clean and efficient. You can focus more on logic and creativity, and let the system handle the setup and repetitive execution. It's especially powerful when you're iterating quickly, because you can modify tasks, rerun /implement, and instantly test your new results. For developers and creators, this feels like a superpower, turning every plan into a working result with just a single command. And that's what makes this process so exciting. You're not just coding anymore, you're orchestrating. And now that everything has successfully run, the system automatically starts building the application using the .NET build command. Once the build is complete, it executes .NET Run to launch your project in real time. In just a few seconds, your modern web application comes to life right in your browser. You can see your ideas, your code, and your design all working together beautifully. And that's the magic moment. Your project is officially live and running flawlessly. And that's how you work with GitHub Spec Kit for Spec Driven Development. This powerful toolkit helps you create well-structured, documented projects with clear architectural principles from the very beginning. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more development tutorials. Drop any questions in the comments below and I'll be happy to help. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.